Hello there, how are ya? Welcome back to How I Did It. Well, the breast chickens are doing absolutely wonderful. The Rhode Island Reds started out doing absolutely wonderful. And then I ended up having an issue. One of the little Rhode Island Reds ended up with a crooked neck. And she would run around in circles, lean her head down in and eat, run around in circles, lean her head down in and drink. She seemed like she was doing well, other than she had a really crazy crooked neck. Now, I'm not exactly sure what happened. I brought them in from the post office. They were all totally fine. I set them up in the dog kennel. And as you saw from some of the footage, some of them were actually making their way in and out of the dog kennel. But to get back to my Rhode Island Red with the crooked neck, as you'll see in the upcoming video here, it's just cocked way over. It was almost like, you know how when you sleep wrong on your neck and you can't straighten it out? Or maybe a pinched nerve, who knows? So it's pretty cool. Up to this point, she seems to be compensating fairly well. She's maintaining the same growth as the other Rhode Island Reds. She's able to drink. She doesn't seem to be in any kind of distress until this. Now, she went from what appeared to be compensating really well to really struggling with this loop-de-loop and stuff. Now, she's been in this box here for a couple of days, and at least she's able to eat and drink and have a place that she's not stressed out. She doesn't have other chicks coming up, constantly poking at her and whatnot. And it's kind of smart that I did it anyway. These kids are growing so quick. They have their perches and stuff. As you can see, she's looking much better. Her neck's not quite as crooked. And when I go in there, I put my hand down there, she comes right over to me. She lets me pick her up, cuddle her, pet her. So, again, maybe it was just a pinched nerve. Well, at least she's on the road to recovery. Now it's a matter of making a few decisions on what these chicks are going to be put in once I get them out to the property. Tentatively, I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking two oversized dog kennels, putting them together to where they'll have about a 6-foot chicken run. And I will put that chicken run inside of the playpen of the main chicken coop area. That way the old chicks will get used to the new chickens, or the old chickens will get used to the new chicks. My rooster, Rudy, can get used to his new chicks that he's going to have released. But as you can see over there on the playpen of this chicken run, those mesh holes on the fence are 3x3, and these chicks, if I let them out, they would be right through that opening and potentially basically just predator bait. We have owls, hawks, eagles, buzzards, raccoons, dogs, cats that all would love to have a little chicken nugget snack. So I'm just using this vapor barrier right here. It's plastic. I'm putting it on the end of this first dog kennel. That way they will have a waterproof area. Right now we get our afternoon thunderstorm every day. Put a couple of perches in there, and then with extending that with the second dog kennel, they'll have a nice 6-foot run that they can kind of be corralled in. Now the gaps on these dog kennels are big enough that a raccoon could just stick his arm in there and grab them. So I'm just going to temporary MacGyver a couple of cardboard boxes on the one side just to provide them a little bit of protection. And then on the other side, the shelf that normally goes in the oversized dog kennel, I'm just going to hang that down, and it'll kind of create a 1-inch square area, but still leave the bars open for airflow. The tape that I'm using here is that silver duct tape. It works better than the Gorilla Tape or regular duct tape, only because the sun doesn't melt it. And once you stick it, it will be stuck and it will seal it, which is what I'm looking for on this end of the kennel. Like I said, these chicks need to have a protected area that they can stay in. And then I'm going to use the trays for like the roof setup. That way it'll deflect the water off, and basically recycling what I already have on hand until these chicks can, or until they grow big enough in size that I can just release them inside with the other members of their flock. So you can see Mr. Rudy right there. He's a pretty curious guy as to what I'm doing. We ended up having our typical afternoon thunderstorm blow in, so you didn't see me attach the second kennel. All I used was baling wire and wired the two together. Took the one end off of it so they can make their way all the way through. A couple of perches up there for them so they have some place to stay. And I did put a couple of bigger sticks on the ground for those that may want to just hang out on the ground. But I think overall this is going to work out quite nicely for them. It's going to keep them safe. I was able to utilize what I already had on hand. And there you see my little crooked neck girl. She is just doing fantastic. I really do need to get a name for her. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I ordered 6 American Breese and I ended up with 11 chicks out of the deal. 7 American Breese and the 3 Rhode Island Reds. And as you can see, the American Breese, their legs are coming in blue. So the gray and the white ones are the American Breese, and their legs have already had that blue hue come into them. Now, if you'll notice here, Rudy, he is such a good boy. He's actually feeding those chicks. He is picking up feed off the ground, and he is feeding those baby chicks. I thought that was absolutely amazing when I was watching him. I would have never thought a rooster had that nurturing nature, and here you see him again feeding the chick. Well, my American Breese survived their first night outside. Alrighty then, I want to thank you all for stopping by. Have an absolutely wonderful and blessed day. And I will see you next time on
Come here, Rudy.
How I Did It. Take care.